Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for another video. This is almost it. The season is almost over. The 24-25 season. This is the second to last weekend of football we have coming up this year. It's been a great season, but we're going to be looking at our conference championship games. We only have 2 games this weekend, deciding who is going to be making the 24-25 Super Bowl. We're going to completely break down these games, try to predict the outcome, who's going to win, lose, and what the final score will be. We'll also touch on the best bets, the money lines, the spreads, the over-unders. Make sure to hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe to the channel so that you can follow along with us. This entire season, since week 1 all the way till now, we've completely broke down every single matchup, predicting the outcomes. We'll do the same type of stuff through the offseason in the next year. We also do the same thing for a college football game as well. The national championship game just ended. That season's over. Well, we have major news going on in the offseason for college football. A lot going on in the world of football this week. If you're a football fan, if you're a sports fan, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Last weekend, great weekend for the playoffs. Great divisional matchups we had. We got every game wrong except for that Lions game. The Lions let us down. That was a crazy game, though. Fun game. They lost it. They played about as bad as they could have played. They got knocked out of the playoffs, but you have to give props to the Commanders. This team is riding hot right now. That's going to take us right into our conference championship games. The very first one we have is going to be Sunday, January 26th, 3 p.m. on Fox. The 12-5 Washington Commanders. They are cruising right now. They don't have a great defense. They just have an average defense, but that defense was dominating this past week. They were forcing turnovers, picking off Jared Goff. When they had to move the ball, the offense massively stepped up. You have to give a lot of props to Jaden Daniels, and Quinn and Daniels have shown the massive improvement one offseason can have. The biggest thing they did, change coaches, change the quarterback position. It has taken this team to new heights. They are one game from going from awful to potentially playing in the Super Bowl. They're going to be playing the 14-3 Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles, they continue to roll this season. They have one of the more balanced attacks in the NFL, the number 2 rushing team in the NFL. They have the offense, they have the defense. They can beat you multiple ways. When the offense has a bad game, the defense is more than capable of stepping up. When the defense gives up some scores, if they have a top 10 offense, they can match you blow for blow. This is going to be a very impressive game. 2 quarterbacks that can sling it, 2 mobile quarterbacks. It's 2 top 10 offenses. Who's going to have the edge on the other one? Right now, the Eagles, they are the favorites. 63.7% chance to win this game. 5.5-point favorites here. The over-under is 48 points. This game is definitely setting up for there to be some points scored in this game. Like I mentioned, it's 2 top 10 defenses, 2 teams that can throw the ball, but both teams have very efficient rushing attacks. Jaden Daniels, offensive rookie of the year so far, 3,600 yards, 25 touchdowns, 9 picks. These teams have played twice already this season, split the games. Washington 1-1. Philadelphia 1-1. This is the game for all the marbles. Whoever wins this game is going to be playing in the Super Bowl. Eagles have been there recently. Washington has not. Think if they go from a bottom team last season all the way to playing in the Super Bowl this year in just one offseason. Right now, Washington for their offense. They're averaging 28.5, throwing for 215.6, running for 154.1. Like I mentioned, very balanced on the offensive side, and their defense is giving up 23 points a game. I was mentioning earlier how they don't have a great defense. They have an average defense at best, but they showed situationally when they need stops, they can get stops. Yes, they still gave up a lot of points to Detroit, but their offense was cruising easily. Jaden Daniels completely had that game within his grasp. They were throwing the ball, they were running the ball, but their defense situationally, when they needed to get a stop, when they needed to generate turnovers to take pressure off the offense, they stepped up. Right now, where they are strongest on defense is their secondary. They only give up 189.5 passing yards per game. That is actually technically a top 5 pass defense, but they do give up a lot of yards on the ground. They give up 137.5 yards on the ground. That doesn't necessarily bode well versus the Eagles because the Eagles have the number 2 rush offense in the NFL. So it's Washington's weakness versus the Eagles' massive strength. Right now, the Eagles, Hurts hasn't played best so far in the playoffs. He's probably not 100% right now, but that is more than good enough because their defense can carry this game and their ground attack. Saquon Barkley, 205 yards on the ground this past weekend. They don't even need that much from Hurts. They just need him for the tush and push, play action. Their ground game and their defense is more than capable of getting this team to the Super Bowl. Right now, Hurts missed a lot of time, still had 2,900 yards, 18 touchdowns. only 5 picks. He also added 14 rushing touchdowns on the ground. Right now, the Eagles, 27.2 points a game on offense. They throw for 187.9. They run for 179.3. One of the more balanced teams in the NFL. When you can run the ball like that, that massively helps you in the passing game, opens up the play action, and they definitely have the weapons at wide receiver. Right now, they also have the number 3 defense in the NFL, giving up 17.8 points per game. So while these teams might be even on the offensive side, the Eagles definitely have a massive edge on defense. They are only giving up 174.2 pass yards per game. They have a top 5 secondary in the NFL as well, and they also have a better rush defense, only giving up 104.2 on the ground, which is a top 5 rush defense. Number 3 defense, top 5 secondary, top 5 front 7. This team is stacked on the defensive side, and they showed multiple times this season they can beat you just on their defense alone, and they have the offense to complement it. Right now, Jaden Daniels, he's been doing amazing things. One of the more impressive rookie seasons we've seen in recent history. Right now, 3,600 passing yards, 891 rushing yards. He's been dominating on the ground. He has the wheels to, if you flush him out of that pocket, he's more than capable of scrambling for that first down. They need the rest of that running back room to step up. Robinson Jr. massively stepped up this past weekend. He needs to continue to do that. Jaden Daniels, Washington, you're not going to be able to win a Super Bowl off of Jaden Daniels leading rushing every single game. That might get you there, but it's not going to get you over the hump. That running back room as a whole has to continue to play well. And they also have Scary Terry. This is a massively talented offensive roster, but the Eagles are loaded on offense. One of the best offensive rosters in the NFL. They have Hurts. Saquon Barkley, the best running back in the NFL. He decided to turn down Week 18, the chance to break the rushing record for one season, because they have their eyes set on something bigger. Getting to the Super Bowl, winning the Super Bowl. 2,005 rushing yards in only 16 games. They have A.J. Brown. They have Smith. They have weapons up and down the field. We have Philadelphia winning this one 31-23. The first half might be close. They pull away late third quarter, and they make it back to the Super Bowl again, dominating on the ground in the trenches. And then the next one we are going to look at looks like it's this way every single season for the AFC. We have the 13-4 Buffalo Bills, 6:30 p.m. on CBS. They'll be facing off versus the 15-2 Kansas City Chiefs. These teams are playing again every year. It seems like these teams, this game decides who's going to make it to the Super Bowl. But we've known the Bills have had difficulties beating the Chiefs in the playoffs. They've been able to beat them during the regular season. They beat them during the regular season this year, but will they be able to get that weight off their shoulders? Will Josh Allen be able to carry this team over that hump, get to the Super Bowl? Bills have never won a Super Bowl before. Kansas City's going for the three-peat here. Who's going to get the edge in this game? Right now, the Bills, they are the fan favorite. 54.6% chance to win this game, but that could be biased because the fans just might not want to see the Chiefs make it again to the Super Bowl, so they might not be giving to who they really think is going to win this game, because Kansas City is the Vegas favorite. 1.5 point favorites over here is 47.5, but let's call it what it is. This game is basically a 50-50 pick 'em. Flip a coin. This game could go either way. Two of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. Josh Allen, one of the MVP frontrunners this season. They've been lighting it up on offense. They've been lighting it up on defense. They won this past weekend, but let's call it like it was. That was not a great performance from the Bills offense, but they found a way to beat Baltimore. Baltimore outplayed them, but when the Bills needed plays, their defense stepped up, and their offense was able to take enough time off the clock to where it got them the win. A win is a win. Never apologize for a win, but we know who Kansas City is. We know what Andy Reid's team is. They are a veteran, experienced squad. They've been here so many times. They know how to win. Yes, they're 15-2, but they have not been dominating at any point this season. They've been barely squeaking by games. They get a lot of calls from the refs. They've had balls hitting off the field goals. They've had teams missing field goals to end games, blocked kicks, all kind of weird stuff happening, but you keep winning. You keep winning. They find a way to win. That's what veteran teams do, and we know they play their best football in the playoffs. That's when everyone turns it into the highest gear. They had a pretty sloppy first half on offense. Second half of the season, they've been dominating. Patrick Mahomes hasn't thrown an interception in months, it seems like. This team, completely different team second half, and they have to frighten you. They've won so many Super Bowls. This is our modern Patriots right now because Tom Brady is retired. This is the new Patriots. This is the new Tom Brady. No matter how bad they are, you can't underestimate them because they can kick the crap out of you any game. Looking at the team here, Josh Allen, great season overall, 41 overall touchdowns, only took one snap week 18, so he only played 16 games and still finished 3,700 passing yards, 28 touchdowns, 16 picks. He had 13 rushing touchdowns, 41 overall touchdowns, and then you have Patrick Mahomes, 3,900 yards, 26 touchdowns, 11 picks. Not his best statistical season, but as I was saying, they dominated the second half when they needed it. You want to be hot leading up to the playoffs. That's when you want the momentum carrying you through the playoffs. That's when they turned it on. Right now, Buffalo, they are beat up from that Ravens game. That was a tough game. Went down to that final possession, but they have the number 2 offense in the NFL, just behind the Detroit Lions. They're averaging 30.9 points a game. They have the edge on offense this season. They're throwing for 227.9, running for 131.2, and their defense is only giving up 21.6 points a game. They have a situationally tough defense. They don't have a great overall defense, but they have the playmakers in that front seven to have situational stops when you need it. They don't have a top 10 defense like the Chiefs do, but when they need a stop, they have the experienced veteran players. They're hungry for that Super Bowl appearance. They're hungry for their first team Super Bowl. They want to get that win here. They can make a stop on 3rd and 1. 4th and 1, that's when you need your defense to step up. And for Kansas City, right now, they're just efficient as a team. They're averaging 22.6 points a game. So obviously Buffalo has the edge on offense, but can they carry that edge, that momentum offensively versus the Chiefs' elite, experienced veteran defense? They're throwing for 222.4. They're running for 105.3. They're giving up 19.2 points a game. That's where things make the difference here is Kansas City's front seven. They generate a lot of pressure, top 10 in sacks, top 10 in quarterback pressures, top 10 in tackles for a loss. It's the amount of turnovers they generate. They disrupt the pass. They force the quarterback into fumbling. They force him into errant throws. Sometimes errant throws lead to interceptions. That's for Chris Jones and team. That's where that pressure that they generate really gets at you. They're only giving up 101.8 on the ground. That is a top 5 rush defense. Buffalo loves to run the ball. They've been successful running the ball with Cook. They've been successful running with Josh Allen. Will Josh Allen and Cook be able to run the ball on the Chiefs? If you watch them run versus Baltimore, they were able to move the ball on the ground when they needed to, especially scrambling out of the pocket, quarterback design runs. Cook can run the ball. Baltimore did own the second half, though, drew that game close. Can Kansas City model the game after that? It's going to be strength on strength here. Buffalo's rush attack versus Kansas City's rush defense. Looking at the playmakers here for Buffalo, they have Cook, Shakir, Coleman, Cooper. They don't have a great wide receiver core, but overall they have good wide receivers as a whole. Whenever they need someone to step up, someone in that wide receiver room always makes a play on 3rd and long situations. And you have Josh Allen here. Josh Allen is a playmaker himself. He's been very efficient this season, hasn't been forcing things surprisingly. Can he play the way Josh Allen played during the regular season versus the Chiefs? He took over that game, won then the game single-handedly. Can he carry that performance here? It was his power, quarterback design, run plays. That's what made the difference. They're going to need that on those 3rd and 1, the 4th and 1 situations. And looking at Kansas City, the big thing about Kansas City, they are healthy right now. That has to scare the hell out of you right now. Patrick Mahomes, he's not athletic, but whenever he scrambles, for some reason, no one can get their hands on him. Hunt, Pacheco, Kelsey, Hollywood Brown, Worthy, they have the weapons. They can now stretch the field. When you can stretch the field with those deep vertical passes, that opens up the underneath passing game. That helps the run game. The run game, in turn, helps the play action, and round we go. This game's going to be a tough one here. I flip-flop back and forth. I don't personally want to go anywhere near this game. I don't have a horse in this race. But as a football fan, I am going to love watching this game. This game's going to go down to the second half, going to go down to the 4th quarter, probably going to go down to that last possession. It's hard to pick a game when you don't know, as of right now, just who's going to have the ball last to end the game, because that's probably who's going to win this one. But as of today, for our early picks, we'll have another pick coming out later this week. I'm going to go with Buffalo having the ball last, winning this game. If they have the lead, they run the clock out to end the game. They win it 28-24. So that's our picks and predictions for all of our conference championship games, guys. Make sure to hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe. We also have our Twitter handle below. Make sure to follow us there. And please drop your comments and I'll respond to them. Thank you.